Now this is an example of a movie presented with a solid trailer that hooks you enough to want to see how the story unfolds, only to get hit with disappointment in the end by realizing how empty it is. What up peeps, and welcome back to a new review video where we will be looking at John Boyega and the late Michael K. Williams' recent movie, Breaking. And before we jump into it, a warning first of spoilers ahead, so if you haven't seen it yet, you know what to expect.
Make good, Brian. Just make good.
Off the top, let me just say that I sensed some strong Denzel Washington vibes from Boyega's performance here, and it definitely took me back to John Q. And I think it's safe to say that Boyega tried to emulate Denzel's style while adding a little of his own to it. And to be honest, he really gave a solid performance of a broken army veteran who was wronged by the monetary system. That all what he wanted to do in the end was get what he was owed and let the public know of his story. Michael K. Williams also gives a fantastic performance, and you never feel underwhelmed whenever he's on screen. And these two were about the best thing in this movie in general. The issue with it though is that despite the performances and the fact that it is based on a true story and events which should captivate the audience's attention and compassion towards such a situation, it was poorly executed in the end. The premise of the story was great, although a common one we've seen in a few other movies before, and it could have been presented in a much better and thorough way, but there was just a lot of talking and conversing and storytelling between the characters, and the scenes and interactions between the characters were also very slow and dragging. There were barely any compelling moments that occurred, apart from a few scenes where they were jumping between time periods to show the motive of the main character, and some parts of the film were predictable as well, and I could see how the events would unfold in their scenes before they happen. But what made me disappointed the most was the ending. Everything happened so fast. The shooting of the main character, the rescue of the hostages, and the whole climax of the movie was basically shown in very quick and rushed scenes. I was sitting contemplating for about 3 minutes whether the main character was actually killed or not. They didn't show any details of that climactic scene. Who shot him, when and where the bullet hit him, or even showing him fall to the ground to add to that dramatic and tense moment that the movie has been building up for, especially after all the issues and injustice situations that the movie has been addressing all this time, and showcase the message that it was conveying. It was very underwhelming in the end, and that climactic scene was immediately cut off, showing very slow shots of all the other important characters and how they were supposedly feeling. I will say however that the only thing the movie focused on were the emotions of the characters, but not all of them gave solid performances, to be honest. The best performances were from John and Michael, as I mentioned, and the two women inside the bank were good too, and I could definitely notice the effort they both put into expressing their emotions. The movie overall however didn't build up properly to the final moments, and everything was generic after the first half hour and kept on a steady and slow pace without progression towards the end. But I can't say it was a bad movie in itself. The fact that it was based on true events and this is the actual story of it, whereas there was no need to over dramatize or add anything unnecessary, makes me understand the limits of what the filmmakers had to produce this film within. So for my final score, I will give it 5 out of 10. It was quite average, and I do feel that the build-up could have been better. So let me know, what did y'all think of this movie, and what rating would you give it for yourself? And do you agree that it was slow and dragging for the most part, or were there certain scenes that captivated you more? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and I would very much like to read your opinions about it. And until I see you all in the next video, thank you very much for watching, have a splendid day, and peace out.